Have you ever wondered why we speak so many different languages? Why a simple conversation can be impossible between two people from different parts of the world? The answer might lie in an ancient, epic story from the book of Genesis. A tale of ambition, unity, and a tower that aimed to reach the heavens. This is the story of the Tower of Babel. Let's travel back in time to the land of Shinar, a plain in ancient Mesopotamia, what we now know as modern-day Iraq. According to the biblical narrative, this was a time long after the Great Flood had reshaped the world. Noah's descendants had begun to multiply and spread, but there was something unique about this era. The whole world had one language and a common speech. Imagine that. Everyone, everywhere, could understand each other perfectly. There were no language barriers, no need for translators, no misunderstandings due to a slip of the tongue. Communication was seamless. As these people migrated eastward, they found this vast, fertile plain in Shinar and decided to settle there. They were skilled and innovative. They discovered how to make bricks, baking them thoroughly to make them strong and durable. They used mortar, creating a building material that was revolutionary for its time. With this technology and their unified spirit, a grand idea began to take shape. They said to each other, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Let's break down this ambition. It wasn't just about building a tall structure. It was about creating a central point for humanity, a symbol of their power and unity. They wanted to make a name for themselves, to achieve fame and legacy. But there was also a fear driving them. The fear of being scattered. God had previously commanded humanity to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. But these people wanted to stay together, concentrated in one powerful city. Their plan was a direct defiance of that divine instruction. They wanted to control their own destiny, to gather in one place rather than spread out and populate the globe as intended. So, the work began. The city, which would later be known as Babylon, started to rise from the plains. And at its heart, the construction of the great tower commenced. Day after day, the sound of work filled the air. Thousands of people, all speaking the same language, worked in perfect coordination. The tower grew taller and taller, a testament to what humanity could achieve when united in a single purpose. It was a marvel of engineering and a beacon of human ambition climbing steadily towards the sky. From a distance, it must have been an awe-inspiring sight. A man-made mountain piercing the clouds, but as the tower climbed higher, it caught the attention of God. The story tells us that the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the people were building. And what he saw was not just a great architectural achievement, but a monument to human pride. He saw a people united, not in humility, but in arrogance. Their goal to reach the heavens wasn't just about height. It was a metaphor for challenging divine authority, for trying to make themselves equal to God. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them." This is a fascinating statement. It acknowledges the immense power of human unity. When we work together with a shared vision and clear communication, our potential is limitless. But God saw that this limitless potential was being driven by pride and a desire to disobey his will. This kind of unchecked ambition, he knew, could lead to even greater acts of defiance. So, a divine intervention was planned. But it wasn't a flood or a fire. It was something far more subtle, yet incredibly effective. God said, "Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." And just like that, the project came to a grinding halt. Imagine the scene. One moment, a worker is asking for more bricks, and the next, the person he's speaking to hears only gibberish. The foreman shouts an order, but his crew looks back at him in bewilderment, their faces a mask of confusion. The perfect, seamless communication that had made the project possible was gone. Chaos erupted. Frustration mounted. Arguments broke out as people were unable to understand simple requests. The sense of unity that had defined them shattered into a million pieces. The shared purpose dissolved into mutual suspicion and misunderstanding. How can you build a tower when you can't even ask for a hammer? The construction site, once a symbol of cooperation, became a scene of complete and utter pandemonium. The project was abandoned. The tower, left unfinished, would stand as a permanent reminder of their failed ambition. And because the Lord confused their language, the city was named Babel. The name itself is a play on words in Hebrew. It sounds like the Hebrew word balal, which means to confuse or to jumble. From that point on, the people could no longer live and work together. Unable to communicate, they did exactly what they had feared. They scattered. They formed new groups with those who spoke the same new language and went their separate ways, spreading out over the face of the earth, just as God had originally intended. And this, according to the story, is the origin of the world's many diverse languages and cultures. So, what can we take away from this ancient tale? The story of the Tower of Babel is more than just an explanation for why we speak different languages. It's a profound cautionary tale about human pride, or what the Greeks called hubris. It warns us about the dangers of ambition when it's not tempered with humility. The people of Babel had incredible potential, but they used it to glorify themselves rather than to fulfill a greater purpose. They sought to make a name for themselves, to control their own destiny in defiance of the divine plan. The story also highlights the double-edged sword of unity. Unity is powerful, capable of achieving incredible things. But when that unity is built on a foundation of arrogance and disobedience, it can lead to its own downfall. The very thing that made them strong, their single language, became the instrument of their division. In a way, the story isn't just about the past. It resonates even today. We live in an age of unprecedented technological advancement. We are building our own modern-day towers in science, in technology, in global networks. We can communicate instantly across the globe. But the story of Babel encourages us to ask, what is the purpose behind our ambition? Are we building for our own glory? Or for a greater good? Are we using our incredible power with humility and wisdom? The scattering of people from Babel led to the rich tapestry of cultures and nations we see today. While it began with confusion, it ultimately led to a world of incredible diversity, different traditions, different perspectives, and of course, different languages. And perhaps there's a beauty in that. While we may not all speak the same tongue, we can still strive to understand each other, to bridge the gaps with empathy, respect, and a willingness to learn. The story of Babel isn't just about a tower that fell. It's about the foundation upon which we build our own lives and societies. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more tales from history and mythology. Stay curious.
Thank you for watching. God bless you.